Happy Saturday. It's a half hour horror. I'm here with my co host as usual. Oh, hey, it's Chase. What's going on, man?
Hey, I'm doing good. I hope you are.
Hanging in, man. It's been a rough week. I'm not going to lie. We'll talk about it in a little bit. But, guys, we're winging it today. It's been a crazy week. Chase and I don't really have a plan. So we are flying blind. It's a little weird, but don't worry. We got you guys. Hey, if anybody can sit down and talk a half hour about or more about horror movies, it's these guys. So uh thanks for joining us. Welcome everybody. Chase, have you seen any movies this week? I saw you went and saw something in the theater. What you got going on?
Yes, so I Thursday night went and saw Conjuring, The Last Rites, the supposed final entry in the Conjuring universe, which I think the ones with Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, I think that's done. They pretty much said that's done, but there's going to be spinoffs. There's going to be spinoffs and
Yeah, nobody
stuff like
believes
that.
it. Nobody believes it's over, but I agree. I think these two actors are like, yeah, we're kind of tired of it. We did it. We've done it so many times. Let's wrap these guys up. Did they make it final for those characters?
Yes, it was, not to give any spoilers, but it was very definitive. I've said it before. Maybe when I don't think I've said it since we started doing the live stream, but probably back when we were doing X Spaces. I said before, I'm not the biggest Conjuring fan.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first two are great. Annabelle Creations is really fun. Everything else ranged from it was okay to really bad. I was actually surprised about how much I enjoyed this one.
Cool.
I felt like they gave them, those characters, and Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga in that universe, a nice send off. Kind of definitely closed their book. I was a little skeptical at first because I don't know if he's probably watching. Izzy, if you're in the comments, one of our frequent listeners, Izzy, as we mentioned before, works at an AMC, is a Conjuring and James Wan fanboy, and he had messaged me Wednesday or Thursday night. Thursday morning, its theater had a managers and supervisor screening of the new Conjuring on Wednesday night.
Cool.
And he was like, I didn't like it. And I was like, oh shit. If a self-admitted Conjuring fanboy didn't like it, where does this go for me? But no, surprisingly good. And I saw a few trailers for a few movies that I am very excited for that's coming out this year.
Hit me with it. What's your favorite that what trailer really got you excited?
Black Phone 2. I
Yes,
think
yes,
talk
yes.
of the town right now. Talk of the
Yeah.
town right now.
I saw that before my horrible weapons viewing experience. But that trailer, holy cow, him in the frost and the snow. It is hard to do snow. And movies that do snow settings and winter settings, I always give them a tip of the hat because that's hard to pull off. And it looks like you have a lot of like winter terror happening. And Black Phone 1 was such a surprise for me because it was just really good. Just really good. So the Black Phone 2 trailer got me really stoked. So very excited to see what they do there.
Yeah, so they showed a new Red Band trailer. I think it was actually because now James Wan and Blumhouse, James Wan's Atomic Monster and Blumhouse have merged, where now Atomic Monster is a subsidiary of Blumhouse. So I think they premiered the trailer for that movie. It's the new Red Band trailer. Aaron, I know you're not in your usual environment, but when you go back home and when you're recording from home, your viewers can look behind you. And if you watch previous episodes, there is a huge Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors poster hanging on your wall in your office. It's my favorite Nightmare movie. Yours too?
Absolutely, yeah. I think
Okay,
I think Dream Warriors is the pinnacle.
yeah.
The other, on either side, it has some good offerings, but man, that one's just so fun.
But so when I was watching this new Red Band trailer, I saw a lot of inspiration from Nightmare, taken from Nightmare on Elm Street Dream Warriors, which got me really excited because when Black Phone came out in 2022, again, like you, I was really surprised. It was great. I really enjoyed that movie, but I honestly was like, this should just be a one off. There shouldn't be any sequels to this. And then when they announced the sequel, I was like, oh shit.
I,
I
I
was
was
like,
very confused because I mean, spoiler alert for a little bit of an older movie, but yeah, he doesn't. He gets killed at the end of the movie, and I was like, well, is it going to be like a copycat? Like, how do you bring back a dead horror villain? And we've seen many ways, but like this seems to be like a very Freddy Krueger-esque ghosty thing, and I'm like, yeah, that could be cool.
yeah, I'm excited for it. But I kind of was like, I don't know about this, and then I kept reading like, oh, it's going to be Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warrior inspired. Scott Derrickson is coming back, of course, who directed the first one, which got me a little bit more confident because I was getting Sinister 2, like kind of dread from it because again, Scott Derrickson directed Sinister 1.
Mhm.
Great film. If anyone in the watching hasn't seen it, it's like a 13-year-old movie. It's amazing.
Yeah,
But he did
Sister
not.
One's awesome.
But he didn't come back for Sinister 2, and that movie is ass. So, so I was a little worried, and then they're like, "Oh, Scott Derrickson's coming back, Ethan Hawke's coming back." I was like, "Okay, I'm 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 intrigued." Which is funny because that child, the guy who was the actor who was kind of a preteen in the first one, is now like an older teenager. Mason Thames is coming back. It was funny because he's kind of really blown up
Oh yeah.
this year. Yeah, because he was in How to Train Your Dragon, which made a
Oh,
ton of money. And it was funny. It was like they showed the new Black Phone 2 trailer with him. And then it was immediately after they showed some new romantic comedy starring him. So I think, we're moving on from Pedro Pascal summer to Mason Thames fall, where, where he's going to be in everything coming out this fall.
he'll be in everything till people get mad every time he's on the cover of a magazine. Poor Pedro Pascal. All he did was act really great in a bunch of movies and then be really likable on social
And
media. And then
just get a
everybody's like,
bunch of roles.
yeah. And then everybody's like, I hate that guy. And you're like, what? What did he do to
I'm
you?
just doing I'm just doing my job. I'm doing what I got hired to do. I like working.
Yeah. I mean, it's so funny. It's like being the pain of being a nice guy in the public eye is like it's just so much hate for no reason. It's like yeah, this kid's up for it. We always like to pick our sacrifice before throwing them in the volcano. Hopefully that doesn't happen to him. One of the things, there was some news this week that I saw that was interesting, is they announced the Romulus sequel, written by Fede Alvarez, but Fede
But not
Alvarez, he's not going to direct it. Yeah, I know. Big sad, right?
me and Mike, producer Mike, were having a conversation about this last night,
Yeah.
and we're both sad. But you know, he's still writing it. He's still co-producing it with Ridley Scott, and him and Ridley Scott are picking the director.
Hmm.
So it's kind of like Evil Dead, where Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell, for any new Evil Dead movie, they personally pick the script, they personally pick the director to direct it. So I have a little bit more confidence, even though I'm sad Fede Alvarez isn't coming back. I loved what he did, kind of revamping and giving new life to the Alien franchise. But what are your thoughts?
I'm nervous. You never know. You never know what that means either. Like, why? Why are you doing that? Maybe he has a project that he wants to do, and we'll get a different Fede Alvarez movie. He's like, well, I did Aliens. It's time to hand the torch off and do my next movie. That'd be great. Um, just depends on who they pick, man. I am, as I've stated, very protective of the Alien franchise, and I get really anxious about it. And I thought he did a really good job. So it's like, who could he possibly pick to sort of fill those boots? And what does that mean? So I think there's a lot of implications in the air for the future of the Romulus side of the franchise.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they don't do what you mentioned on Launchpad Pod, what they did with Covenant and Prometheus, and kind of Phantom Menace it, where it's all newer technology and is compared to as long as I think Fede Alvarez chooses the right, and Ridley Scott chooses the right director who can kind of continue that vision, kind of keep up with that momentum kept in Alien Romulus, which killed it at the box office last year.
They should pick me, man. I would love to do an Alien.
Do it.
Thanks, Elinka. I appreciate that vote of confidence. Unfortunately,
everyone in the chat, tag Fede Alvarez.
Get this guy. Yeah. He'll listen to one of my rants on the Alien franchise. He's like, this guy's dangerous. I don't want him anywhere near the Alien franchise. But speaking of Alien franchise, I've been watching Alien Earth. Where are you at with the TV show? There's 5 episodes so far.
Okay, so I watched the first 2. Funny story about third episode. So when the third episode came out a couple weeks ago, the very next morning I had to go to the DMV. And anyone who knows about the North Carolina DMV system, it sucks. It's if you don't have an appointment, which by the way, if you need to get an appointment, you have to schedule it months in advance, and you have to get up like at the before the ass crack of dawn, get in line, which there's 2 DMVs in the city I live in. People start lining up at 3 a.m. Sometimes earlier. I'm not even joking. So what I did was, I was already in a shitty mood that day. So I watched episode 3, but I was barely paying attention. So I need to go back and watch that and watch episode 4, episode 5. So I was already in a shitty mood because I ended up waking up at 3:30 in the morning. I drove to one of the DMVs closest to me. It was already lined up at 4 a.m. So I drove 20 minutes to a little country town outside, like right outside of the city. Got in line, got there about 4:30, and there was like only 2 people in line. So I was in line from 4:30 till the open doors at 7. So, and I was going to go back and rewatch it the next day, that evening. I ended up falling asleep at like 9:30. So.
That's horrible. That's horrible. I live in a town 45 minutes outside of Atlanta, and the DMV, when I had to get my license changed from LA to Georgia, was a surreal experience because I went to the address and you're like, this doesn't look like a DMV. I'm in a strip mall. What is this?
Yeah.
I go in, and I go inside and it's empty. And there's a lady like, hi, come here. And you're like, where are the people? Is this a haunted DMV? Are you a ghost? Is this real? And she's like, yeah,
rooms.
Yeah. She's like, do you need help? And I'm like, yeah, I need to get this done. She's like, okay, I'll help you. And she solved my problem, and I was out of there in 20 minutes. It was so surreal because that is not how any DMV is supposed to be. No. That I'm like, this was easy. This is how it should be. And I guarantee you they're going to close that branch because they're like, wait, they're efficient and doing a great job. Closed.
That's honestly what I'm worried about. The one little country town 20 minutes outside the city. Because again, it was like, so there was probably, by the time they opened their doors at 7 o'clock, there was maybe 35, 40 people in line, and they were getting them out. Like once they opened the doors, I was out of there within like 20 minutes. and they were like getting people in. They're like, okay, what are you here for? Okay, go there. What are you here for? Go there. What are you here for? Okay, go there. Okay, you're here for a driving test. Do you want to do it now? Come back at 11, 1, or 3, up to you. Okay, go there. Like, I was like, damn, they're getting it out of here. This probably ain't gonna last.
Right? Yeah. You're doing too good of a job. You got to slow it down. They don't like it when you go fast there. I love this idea. It's like this guy is trapped in the DMV, and every time he goes up to the window, they're like, "Did you bring this article of paperwork?" He's like, "Oh, I forgot it." And then like he keeps waking up, and it's like he's stuck in the DMV, and it's like one of those purgatory movies where it's like, "You've been dead the whole time. This is hell, sucker." And you're like, "No, DMV." Like, take a ticket and the counter never gets to your number and you're just stuck there forever. Haunted DMV. Yeah, let's do it.
That's a good idea. It's something Primordial Pictures.
Yeah.
You and Patrick get together and
single location. It'll be shot in the Fayetteville DMV once they close for their efficiency problems, and they can film right there. It'll be perfect.
Hey, make it happen.
Make it happen, please.
Shudder, let's do it.
From episode 1 and 2, I was on the fence about, as we talked about it the first time. I'm still a little nervous on those ones. 3, 4, and 5 ramped up in a great way. 5 is awesome. I am so stoked on this episode. Those of you all caught up, it's an alien movie. They go back and give you like a classic alien movie, and I'm like, yeah, I love it. I'm so here for it.
I know what I'm doing when we go off air.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it. And you'll be excited because there's moments where you're like, what? No way. I don't know. There's some turns and twists and turns and lots of cool creatures and obviously a xenomorph, but like we get to see more of the eyeball monster and the tick creatures and all the stuff they've been laying the groundwork for. And now it's like, man, that episode was so good. Where do you go from here? Like, how could episode 6 even compare when this was just such a banger of an episode? So I'm almost nervous to see the next one because it's like, oh, now we have to go back and like how there's no way you can go up from here. It's so that to me is the pinnacle of where we're at. So we have 3 more episodes left in the season, and I'm excited to see where they go.
I'm intrigued because even a buddy of mine earlier this week had texted me. He lives in Colorado now, but like he had texted me. He's like, "Hey, have you been watching the Alien series? It's so good." So I'm gonna have to really get on that. I half-assed watch episode 3, and I'm 3 episodes behind now. So.
Gotta get on it. One of the I'm trying. I don't want to get into spoilers. So I'm trying to figure out how to phrase it. In the first episode, they make a reference to a Disney movie from 2009. Not even a Disney movie, like a Fox movie, an
Which
animated.
Is technically now Disney.
Yeah, a movie from 2009, and it was something that rubbed me completely the wrong way because it dates. Yeah, I got really wrapped up about that. I was really mad about the use of this movie, and the equivalent is if I made a reference to the Great Train Robbery 100 years earlier. If that timeline plays out, they're making a movie reference that is 100 years old, and I don't know what children make references to 100-year-old movies. It's like my 4-year-old being like, oh, I love George Méliès's Earth to the Moon. Just, it's just weird to me, but you know what? It has made up for it in enough places that I'm digging it.
Yeah, I remember you texting me about that, and we were joking like, okay, let's place bets. Let's see how much longer it takes for them to mention Disney Plus or Disney Cruise.
Remember we met on the Disney Cruise? There were no xenomorphs. It was a better time. Xenomorph on a cruise, though, like, look, I mean, if this goes on for many seasons, I would love xenomorphs on a boat, just like snakes on a plane. Yeah, my kid probably will do that at some point. She loves Gremlins and Star Wars and stuff right now. So they just released a Gremlins Lego set of Gizmo, and my kid's like, we should build that, Daddy. And I'm like, Yeah, we should. That's $100 Lego set though. I wasn't getting $100 Lego sets when I was 4 years old. So but like, I don't know. Christmas is coming. We'll see what
We'll
happens.
see. We'll see. She's got to put it on her Christmas list.
Yeah, yeah, right. Like, Gizmo Legos, but like, I also don't know how fun it's going to be to build a Lego set with a 4-year-old. But we'll explore. Like, we'll see. Maybe we'll start with a smaller set. Legos did get expensive. I cannot even begin to tell you. Um, I'm building a DeLorean right now. My like escapism at work is I bring a Lego set, and like in between meetings or like in between setups, I'll like go to my office and put together like a door and put it on the time machine from Back to the Future, and I'm excited to finish that one up.
Oh, there is something else. It just hit me.
Yeah.
I went to the theater and saw something last Saturday night.
Hmm.
And if if you are able to, everyone in the chat and watching, and if it's still showing, the new Toxic Avenger with Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh,
wait,
so while you're grabbing whatever awesome thing you got, I'm assuming it's going to be a popcorn bucket or some cool swag. They donated like millions of dollars to help erase medical debt. So, like, Toxic Avengers, Cineverse gave away $5 million to undo medical debt, which was is a nonprofit organization. And for every $1 million that it made this past weekend, they would donate another $1 million to erase medical debt.
oh
It is
wow.
amazing that they were the real life superheroes for this. Like, look at that popcorn bucket. That's sick. So I'm really stoked on that. It's absolute shit that um a gross out film has to be the hero erasing medical debt, and that we don't take care of that in our country. But
Yeah.
I am so stoked that Cineverse and Toxie was a face for that. And how was the movie? Did you have a good time?
Yeah, I thought it was fun. It's pretty much what you'd expect. Of course, it's a reboot of the original Trauma Toxic Avengers, which I have just got the four film Blu-ray set. I've only seen the first one.
Uh, they get wild, man. What can you read off? There's the first one's Toxic Avenger. What are the other names of the other movies?
Okay, this one I know. Oh yeah, so the Toxic Avenger Part 2. Toxic Avenger Part 3 is just listed as Toxic Avenger Part 3, but I think it's like the subtitle is Toxic Avenger Part 3, The Last Temptation of Toxie.
Uh-huh.
As a play on Martin Scorsese's film Last Temptation of Christ. And then Citizen Toxie, The Toxic Avenger 4.
That's the other one that I've seen, was Citizen Toxie, which was ridiculous. Absolutely bonkers.
But yeah, I thought this one was a lot of fun. And like you said, they're using their money, they're using their box office gross for good. So support Toxic Avenger. It's one of those films. It was filmed in like 2021.
Nobody wanted to release it. Cineverse bought it and was like, slam dunk. Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, and this is like, but I think they started showing it in like festivals and stuff to get a distributor in like 2023. I know our good friend of the show, Christopher Carlson, I think had told us he went to like a screening in like early 2023 to see it. And yeah, it's been sitting on the shelf for the last 2-3 years. And now, like you said, Cineverse, the same studio. I think they also own Bloody Disgusting that released Terrifier 2 and 3, are getting ready to do another anticipated horror movie coming out later this year. Silent Night, Deadly Night, the remake of that.
Yes.
And they're just like, yeah, this is weird. This is gory. We're releasing this unrated.
It it is absolutely crazy that they're doing that. But like, look, with the success of Terrifier, they know what they're doing. I saw a
Yeah.
still from the new Silent Night, Deadly Night, and it was a room full of Santa Claus, and one Santa Claus was holding his intestines. So it's gonna be gory, which
Oh.
I'm excited. I'm excited. um, uh, Toxic Avenger, uh, over the 4 day over the 4 day weekend made $2.63 million, which for a movie like that, I hats off. I think that's
Yeah.
great. I mean, I think if you're comparing it to a Marvel movie, they'd be like abject failure. But to an independent film about a little green monster that's full of, gross out humor and gross out shock gore, you made $1 million. Great job, guys.
Yeah, I mean, it has a great cast. You got, of course, Peter Dinklage, an award-winning actor. If Game of Thrones, X-Men, Days of Future Past, been in a whole bunch of stuff. You got Kevin Bacon as the lead villain, which I saw a tweet the other day that said something along the lines of, I've been really loving Kevin Bacon's recent career because it seems like he's just reading the script like, yeah, this is really weird. I'll do it.
He's going that Daniel Radcliffe route. He's like, is it weird? He doesn't need any more money. He's like, this sounds like fun. If I'm going to have a good time on set, that's great. Is Elijah Wood in it as well? Like briefly.
Yes. Yeah, he's really good in it too.
So
I
cool.
would say he's kind of like not really briefly. He actually has a pretty decent role in it.
Cool.
But yeah, he's really good. He kind of has like the Igor look going on. Of course, young actor Jacob Tremblay, very talented young actor from Room, the Brie Larson film, and Good Boys, that R-rated comedy, which is about a
Right.
bunch of cursing 12-year-olds.
That that cracked me up. That I can't even describe some of those scenes with it's funny. They're sneaking around trying to, I can't even remember what their whole goal is, but
Oh,
they sneak into their friend's house, and under his mom's bed they find some objects that kids probably shouldn't be playing with, and they don't know what they are, and I was dying. Dying. I was laughing so hard.
and
Craig Ferguson.
the funny thing is like, I think the characters are like 11, 12. And like, we were 11 and 12 at once. Like, you don't like the little sitcoms where they show where they're like, oh yes, mommy, that's not real. Kids cursing and getting into shit like when they're 11 or 12, that's like as real as it gets. Like,
Yeah. We were sneaking around watching movies we weren't supposed to. I mean, I had way more freedom at 11 and 12 than I think any 11 and 12-year-olds do today. I hopped on my bike and rode like 2 miles away to go to the comic shop and the candy store and stuff.
oh
And
wow.
yeah, like me and my little brother, who was 5 years younger in tow, like we just go bike into town and have fun and run around in the woods and like catch frogs. Like we were, I wouldn't say we were completely unsupervised like the 80s, but I still had a lot of freedom as soon as I could ride my bike and my parents felt comfortable with me obeying traffic laws.
Yeah. See, like with me, again, I don't know if you lived in a smaller town or but I grew up in like a city area. So like all the
Mm,
parents were like, okay, listen, like if you go biking, just do it around the neighborhood. So
I was small. I mean, it's suburbs of Indianapolis, so
okay. Yeah,
but
see, where I grew up right in the city, so it was like everyone was kind of like, "Hey, be cautious!" Like, and that
ugh,
just wasn't my parents; that was just about every parent. So in the city, so
yeah, it's interesting. Um, but yeah, we've been eating well. There's been some good horror. There's some good stuff going on. Um, Something I want to dive into is talking about like some of the positions on a film. Um, this has a specific purpose, but I'm gonna give a little warning. I'm gonna be sad here. I'm laughing now, but it's sad. So on a movie set, you have lots of positions. There's hundreds of positions. People who hold the boom, the director is there, the just a whole tier of assistant directors who help organize the film, the director of photographer, photography, who sets up the shots, camera operators of all kinds, people who set up the lighting, people who set up all the stuff you can't see because you have to like create shadows and lights. It's all the grip equipment. But on set, there's an unsung hero, and it's the script supervisor. And a script supervisor is the person who gets a script, and very simply, the basic of their job is, hey, have we shot the things that we need to shoot to tell the story that's in the script? They sit and check off, hey, you got that scene, you said that line, and they keep track of everything you've shot. Then the next tier of their job is continuity, which is if an actor goes like this while doing their line, they touch their nose or something, they have to do that every take. And the script supervisor is like, hey, you did that with your left hand this time. Oh, that time you did it with the right hand. We got to get it the same, because editors need things to be consistent when they edit the movie. Otherwise, it looks really weird. So they're in charge of that. And then lastly, they're in charge of making sure that the actors say their lines right, because that's important, because the writer who sold the film to the studio or the network sold those lines. And if you change those lines, there can be issues. So they have to tell an actor when the actor says the line differently, hey, here's the words. Oh, here's how you're supposed to say it. You got to say those words. And they hold people accountable at all times. And it is a job of meticulous detail and paying attention to tiny minutia, and it takes almost a neurotic person to do it. And when I first got on The Walking Dead and I moved to Georgia, that first month was really lonely. Like, my wife wasn't in town, things you just don't know anybody. And I was on set one day, and the script supervisor, Amy Lacey, said, oh, Aaron, you look like you need a hug. And she gave me like a life affirming hug, like one that I didn't know, but it was like the first human contact in a month. And she just gave that shit away for free. But she was like that to everybody. She was so warm and so loving and so kind. Dance party. She'd make you, if music came on, she'd start dancing and she'd make you dance with you. And she would do these little gags where she had these like little tiny plastic hands, and she'd hide them everywhere. She'd put them in her sleeve and like poke you with it. And just the little tiny hands was just her bag. And as I said, here comes the sad part. On Monday, she was in a car accident. A drunk driver hit her. And on Friday, they had to pull the plug. And everybody who's part of Walking Dead, family, and everybody who knows her is just heartbroken. We're really, really tore up. And so today in Georgia, they're doing a celebration of life. And she celebrated life so strongly. So, I want to give a little bit of shout out to not only the script supervisors who do so much for films and never get enough credit for it, but to my friend Amy Lacey, and we're going to miss her. So big shout out to her. And sorry to bring the mood down, guys, but I had to, because she's somebody who really, really deserves a little bit of a tip of the hat, and my heart goes out to her family and everybody in Georgia and all the Walking Dead family who are going to miss her immensely. So I don't know how we move on from that, but let's find a movie to talk about so I don't cry.
Well, I was going to say, just talking to you over the last few days since it happened, and I've she just seems like she was just universally loved and respected by everyone. I've seen even several actors that I follow on social media that have worked with her that have just posted wonderful things about her since she had passed. So yeah, I'm not in the entertainment industry. I know you are in the entertainment and film industry, but yeah, it's just, and I've never met her, but it's just seeing, such an outpour of love and respect for her. It's just, like you said, she's going to be very missed by everyone. And, I looked at her filmography. She's worked on
tons of stuff.
Walking Dead, Low Key, like some amazing things. So she's done some amazing work.
Yeah, Halt and Catch Fire, Murtaugh Murders. But yeah, it's a bummer. Life's not fair. Hug your friends and family, guys. Tell them you love them. Yeah. Because you just never know. Life's too short. I was going to bring up bummer movies. Like, if you're in a bummer ass mood and you're bummed out, but we already talked about Bring Her Back.
We did that last week.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did Bring Her Back last week. But I was trying to think of like The Road What a bummer of a movie. The Mist. What a
Ooh.
bummer of a movie. I love The Mist though. That's a great movie.
It's really good. Especially, I think Stephen King even said he loves the ending of that film better than he does his own story.
Well, I think in the story they make it out, you know, they survive, but in The Mist, the movie, it has one of those depressing endings of all of history. But yeah, like it's always funny when there's like a great, like super depressing horror movie, because it's like you watch it and you're like, oh God, I just want to curl up and cry for an hour. And you never want to watch it again, but those are the ones that kind of stick with you in a way that, like, man, I'm still thinking about it years later, you know?
Yeah. And I think Bring Her Back, for me at least, is going to be one of those, as we mentioned earlier, like last week. That movie is Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It is bleak.
So I hope they don't run that into a crappy sequel. Bring Her
I don't
Back
think
again.
It's A24. They respect their films. It's not like one of the major studios. Bring Her Back. Back again.
back for more. Yeah, that would be not cool. I don't know if you're watching South Park this season. I haven't watched South Park in a long time, but
Yeah,
I saw a clip today during the Labubu episode where they're playing a video and she's like, all right, let's do the sacrifice. And it's the videotape from Bring Her Back. It's exact shot by shot videotape of Bring Her Back with, like, you know, the close up on the face and them spitting the blood into the mouth and like
them drawing the pentagram.
Yes. That got me. I was like, bro, I just watched that movie. You did the thing. I watched it. Which made me crack up.
That was hilarious. I noticed that too when I watched, because I watched South Park, and then when I watched that episode when they did the Bring Her Back, they presented it as a TikTok, and then when they did the whole ritual thing, I was like, oh my God, they did it. Like, so that's kind of cool that you know, an indie horror film, Bring Her Back, actually made it to South Park as a parody.
Yeah. I hear, you know, this season's been doing some ridiculously good stuff. So I'm glad that parody is back and they're doing a great job. I just pulled up a list of super. Did you ever see Antichrist from 2009?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Heavy. Oh, not only heavy, but like shocking. There's a lot of like close ups. So you're like, what? Whoa.
Why are you doing that?
Yeah. There's a really funny thing though in it, and I don't know if this is true, but the shot of, spoiler alert, a baby falls out a window, and it's a slow motion shot, and it's shocking, and there's glass falling because it falls out of the window. In the animated film Rango, which was Johnny Depp as a lizard, they did homage to that shot when he falls out of his tank, and it's just the glass falling and the cartoon lizard. And I was like, bold move, Rango. Only a few people.
I think it's the same music too.
Yes, yeah, it's the Ave Maria really slow, and it's like, that's crazy bold, because it's like not only is like only 5% of your audience going to get that, but also you're going to like bring up some trauma to the 5 who did see it. Antichrist was rough, but also Willem Dafoe is one of the best actors to ever do the damn thing. So I'll watch anything he's in, but I never need to watch that movie again.
No, I'm not watching that again. Really, anything by Lars von Trier, I'm probably not going to watch again, especially even though it's not horror. Nymphomaniac Volumes 1 and 2.
Oh, I watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, when it came out, it was like the promise of on-screen nudity was very alluring. And I was like, oh, yeah, let's see that. And you're like, oh, no, it's so sad. It's punishing me for it's punishing me for being a curious male viewer. And then I mean, it had a good message, but man, that movie was savagely sad.
Good Lord, a lot of graphic things in that one. Not violence, but adult things.
I mean, yeah, it's about a woman addicted to sex, and it brings up all the pain of addiction that comes with that, which is like,
very well acted.
great. Looking at my list of sad movies, um, uh, uh, Pet Cemetery is a great one, but I don't think that's one I will watch over and over again though, because I
Yeah,
really do
yeah.
like the original Pet Cemetery. With Gage the murderous child and Church the cat, and of course Mr. Judd across the street. Don't go down that road.
No, go down that road. Another character that was parodied on South Park.
Very, yeah. He pops up from time to time. But yeah, the tragedy of Pet Cemetery is rough. I think that's one of the best Stephen King films. Of course, we have The Long Walk coming out, and I don't know if you saw this gimmick, but an Orange Theory recently did a screening at the gym where you could walk along with The Long Walk on treadmills.
Yeah, I did see that. My fat ass would be out in like 10 minutes, but
I have no idea if that would be for me either. Because also, like, treadmills are not quiet machines. Shunka,
no.
shunka, shunka, shunka. If you go into a room full of treadmills, I think I would have a weapons experience where I'd just be like, nobody wants to hear this shit. Shh.
And the thing is, if you have to stop for anything during the whole treadmill screening, they kick you out. So yeah, they'll kick you. So basically, you have to walk the entire time, and if you stop, you're out. They're like, okay, you can't finish the film.
Oh my god. Well, it's better than I guess what they do in the film, which is put you down.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, I'll take getting kicked out of a gym over getting shot, but
Me too. It's funny because here I'm at this hotel and the internet's trash, and there's like a gym downstairs, and their version of a gym is like a single treadmill, an exercise bike, and mismatched weights. It's just like, well, I have a 35 and I have a 45 and I have a 20. None of these match, so I'm just gonna be like, trying to figure it out. But it's like, I guess it's all I have, so I'll use it.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to that. I think that's very promising. Another great cast. You got Mark Hamill, I think, is the lead villain of the film, which Mark Hamill is incredible.
He plays a good villain too. I mean, as the Joker. What up, KG? KG's late. All right, guys, let me tell you about script supervisors. So, sorry, just rewind to the sad part. I'm excited for The Long Walk. That is one of my favorite Stephen King short story. It's shorter. It's like a novella. It's not really a super long one, but it's crazy.
Another one I'm looking forward to is a film not directed but produced by Jordan Peele, a football horror film. Him with Marlon Wayans and Tyreek Withers, who Tyreek Withers was a highlight in the recent I Know What You Did Last Summer requel. So yeah, that one looks really good. And honestly, they casted a great actor, Tyreek Withers. I don't know if you've seen him, but he is a physically imposing young man. So if anyone could play a professional football player or upcoming professional football player, they picked a perfect guy because he is very tall, very muscular. So
I just saw the trailer for this yesterday, and I am, first of all, how unique. Very rarely does sports and horror cross over.
yeah.
We especially pro football. This looks like the equivalent of a movie like Whiplash, which was Miles Davis playing a drummer and he gets yelled at all the time. But then like that stress drives him into a psychosis, and the visual psychosis that we're seeing, him going crazy, looks insane. Like very cool. So I am actually really interested in this movie because I don't know who they're appealing to. Like, are they trying to draw in football fans? What is the vibe going to be? What genre is this? But it looks really weird and really scary. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think, of course, with him, I think, of course, because they're going to put Jordan Peele's name on it. So there's, of course, as Jordan Peele is a producer, so it is going to definitely attract a large black audience. And then you're going to get a lot of probably football fans who are curious of, and of course the horror fans are going to be there. So I
Yep.
think it's going to be kind of like Sinners, where you're going to get a bit of everybody. Because with Sinners, of course, you had like a large black audience come for it because you had the director of Black Panther, you have Michael B. Jordan, who's a huge star, and then you had the horror fans, you had people who were interested in it. You had gothic horror fans. It was just really a great diverse crowd, and I think you're going to probably get that with him. Kind of the same way I think if you put Jordan Peele's name on it. Same thing with Candyman, the requel that came out a few years ago.
Yeah. How'd you feel about that movie?
I enjoyed it. I mean,
Mm.
nothing can top the original, but I thought they
No.
did a good job. Of course, the first one, Candyman, is a classic. The other two kind of range on really bad slashers, and then you got the
Yeah.
second one, which I think kind of brought it back to its roots. They
Yeah.
kind of added different things like gentrification and um generational wealth and stuff like that, and I thought they really did a good job handling that.
I was really impressed with how they told the backstory with the shadow puppets.
Yeah.
They did so many things right, but it never got to where I think I needed a Candyman movie to go. Because, like, no, I didn't want it to go to the slasher space of 2 and 3, but I wanted it to go closer to I wanted more Candyman. And they're like we're constantly like skirting around the outskirts of finding Candyman, and ultimately where it ends is very good, but I needed more Candyman in the middle to sweeten the deal. But I think it was a very well made film and had a lot to say. But I also got the kind of feeling like it's like I didn't want to be a horror movie. Maybe I don't know. It was a very
Yeah.
interesting thing, but I don't know. Like I watched the original Candyman every Halloween. It is one of my
Yeah.
favorite.
Same here.
Um, it's on my list. It popped up on the list of sad movies. It's very tragic. It's very interesting, and it does not shy away from what it's doing. And Tony Todd, man, it just in the role of his lifetime, it's just really cool. And I think the remake had a lot of big shoes to fill. And there were some shots that were awesome when it had this moment where it's on this close on this woman looking out a window and the camera's pulling back, pulling back, pulling back like a drone shot really high up. And then in the super wide, she just gets lifted up the air and just splattered across the window. And you were like, whoa, very cool shot.
And
That last shot when he's walking around the car and his reflections change into the different Candymen, I thought that was cool.
one thing I really enjoyed about it was one aspect to where they kind of really built up on the urban legend, because of course the first Candyman, and then later on they explain it in the 2 and 3, that Candyman was during the 1800s, during pre-Civil War America, and during the slavery times. He was a free man who was a painter. I think it was a painter. I think it was. I need
Yeah.
to rewatch that movie, but who was hired by a wealthy Southern businessman to paint a
Paint his
portrait of his
wife or his
daughter.
daughter. Yeah.
Yeah, a wealthy white businessman, and he fell in love with her, had a relationship with her. The businessman didn't like it, and him and his cronies tortured him to death. And I kind of liked how they kind of did the Candyman as a black man who was killed, an innocent black man who was killed by brutal force for
Yeah, he got lynched. Yeah, it was bad.
yeah. And they did that with this one, where one of the Candymen was a black man in the 70s who was murdered by the police as a mistaken identity, because they
Mhm.
were looking for, I think, a kidnapper, and they assumed that it was him, and they killed him, where he was innocent, and now he's haunting. And they did the same, and they kind of passed it on. I kind of liked how they kind of did it, where okay, well, anybody could be Candyman.
Yeah, it had like a little Highlander mythos to it. Did you ever read the Clive Barker story?
I didn't. I know it doesn't really deal much with race in America like the Candyman movie does. It's more, I think, the class system in
Mhm.
England.
Yeah, it's in the Books of Blood, which you guys haven't read Clive Barker's Books of Blood. Holy cow, it's so good. In that one book we have so many things that have been turned into movies, and Candyman is one of them. Midnight Meat Train is one of them. Like, there's so many good. And the thing is, like, Clive Barker, the creator of Hellraiser, it's very hard to film his stories because he'll describe something that when you see it, you go absolutely mad. And how do you show that? And I think people are afraid to do it. One of my favorite ones is like, it's almost like a midsummer thing where this guy's driving in the like middle of nowhere in Europe, and in the distance he comes across this like yearly ritual where these two towns come together, and he says it's hundreds of people, thousands of people, and they all start running towards each other, and then some of them start climbing on each other's backs, and they start grabbing onto each other's arms, and they start building a human structure, and they build, for lack of a better word, two giant mechs made out of humans. So human beings standing on each other's shoulders and holding onto each other's arms create giant human shaped creatures, and they start fighting each other like battle bots. And then he says, like, one of them gets punched and the body, they fall over, and like a bunch of people die in the collapse, and you're like, that's so gnarly. You could never film that. It'd be too weird, but it's one of the
They'd have
most
to CGI
interesting,
the shit out of it.
right? It's one of the most interesting short stories I've ever read, because it just painted he's so good at painting a picture in your head. And I need to go back and read the Candyman to like find out what his sort of take on it is. It is not at all what we've seen. So the only thing I really remember about is he's described as wearing like crazy clothes and patchwork colors and stuff. So it'd be interesting.
I'm gonna have to check it out. I know, yeah, like you said, there's been a lot of stuff from Books of Blood that have been adapted. I know. I think even Hulu did a exclusive film called Books of Blood, where it was several of the short stories
Yeah.
as an anthology film. So I'm gonna have to check that one out too.
Yeah, I never saw that on Hulu. I remember being excited about it, and then it was like behind a paywall that I wasn't subscribing for at the time. But it also like didn't make waves. Like, everybody wasn't talking about it
Yeah.
immediately, so might be bad.
Yeah, I think. Let me look on Letterboxd real quick to see what the averaged rating is.
Yeah, Clive Barker's just one of those masters of horror that I think is always going to. I mean, he's not underrated. He's considered one of the best, but in the cinematic world, it's been really hard to get his Nightbreed being another one of his movies that highly underrated and very weird.
Okay, so Books of Blood 2020, the Hulu exclusive film,
Oh,
has
that's why I never saw it. It was 2020.
it has an average of 2.5 out of 5. And I'm seeing a lot of 2.5s, 3s. So kind of very unremarkable, kind of average to lukewarm reception. So
It's funny, on Letterbox that probably means it's bad. On IMDb, I'm watching that thing. If it's got 2 stars on IMDb, that is a movie for me.
oh, speaking of bad movies,
Yeah.
I watched something last weekend and it was glorious.
What did
You
you
will love
watch?
it. I watched on Amazon Prime Video, War of the Worlds, starring the Ice Cube.
Yes.
It
Oh my
was
god. It's
amazing.
oh my god. It's hysterical, I hear.
It's hilarious. There were several scenes where I was just laugh out loud, laughing uncontrollably. It's there's so many scenes where they show Ice Cube, because I don't know, like, I've seen Ice Cube in several movies and he's a good actor. I mean,
Yeah.
he's no Daniel Day-Lewis, but he can carry a film. He can
Yeah.
lead a film. He can do comedy, he can do drama. I don't know if it's one of these things that if it was just a bad, shoot environment and he just didn't care, or he was just like, screw it, this is a bad script. I'm just gonna overact and make it entertaining. But there were several like reaction shots because it's all screen like kind of like that movie Missing, and those movies Missing and Searching, where it's like all FaceTime and told through like a computer screen, like you're watching it through like a webcam.
It's like
But
they
they,
had to film it in 2020 because of COVID, but it didn't come out till now.
yeah, I don't know, but it was amazing because there were several shots where like Ice Cube's reacting to like a building getting blown up, like an important building, or watching a colleague of his get blown up by an alien. He's like, it's hilarious.
I could just see his face from Friday when he first gets stoned, and he's like, "I can feel my heartbeat."
It's probably the funniest film I've watched in a long time. Like, and it wasn't meant to be funny, but then there's also a scene where he's on a FaceTime call with like the president and like the head of defense and, you know, all these like cabinet members talking about what's happening. And he's supposed to be explaining like, yes, well, the alien struck here and now they're targeting this. I feel like what they're doing is something like that, how you have it. But you could tell he's obviously reading from a script. Like he didn't want to have to do it. Like he put no effort to it. It's like, first they struck Las Vegas. Then they are going toward the Pentagon. Now they are headed toward Chicago.
That's I have heard this described as being the video that you have to watch in line when you're about to save the world from Optimus, you know, from the evil Transformers. Like it is a roller coaster ride hype video, and you're just like, this is so bad. I am gonna check it out. I have to.
You have to. It's amazing. I want 20 more of them.
They destroyed the world in this one. In the sequel, they'll bring it back. That's so funny. I mean, I love a good shitty movie. My favorite ones are the ones that tried. Like they didn't know they made a shitty movie. They were like, we're going to make a good movie. And then they were just so incompetent that they made a bad movie. Those are my favorite. And it'll be very interesting to see, like, it very rarely do you have a shitty movie with such a huge A-list star in it. I mean, I
And
don't know if we consider
in a huge platform like Prime Video.
Yeah. Wow. Whoops. We messed up.
No, they didn't.
Our,
I loved it.
I've heard some people be like, maybe they did this on purpose. And I was like, I don't think they did. I don't think they did at all.
Oh, don't get me started on the product placement. It was amazing. So much product placement. Like they're like, yes, they're like, the aliens are taking over, trying to take our data so they can see what's in our Amazon carts. Like
I saw a clip from that where the kid's like, I'll just use my Amazon drone. It will deliver to your house by a drone at a swift pace at no extra cost.
you just have to buy a thumb drive on Amazon Prime and choose same day shipping. It's the future of delivery.
Yeah, when the product placement is so not smooth. If you want like a hilarious, like, go back and watch Terminator 2 with Pepsi in your mind, and suddenly you'll be like, wow, the product placement of Pepsi, this is like, whoa. It is absolutely bananas how many times they were like working Pepsi into Terminator 2 because they paid for some of the movie. And it is hysterical. If you just watch it being like, all right, I'm going to keep my eye open for Pepsi. Like, if you want to be a psycho and you're like, okay, we're going to do a shot every time we see Pepsi, you'll be destroyed within 15 minutes.
See, that's the thing. Like, the thing is, like, Terminator 2 is like one of the greatest films ever made.
Yeah.
So I usually just watch it for the film. Now I'm going to have to go with the lens of, okay, product placement.
Go in with your eyes sharp for Pepsi, and you will see it is everywhere and in weird places. Like in the background, there's just like a Pepsi billboard or like a Pepsi truck drives by just randomly, and you're just like, what? Man, so if they were really trying to like get that, incept that into your brain. Terminator 2 wasn't a blockbuster film. It was an inception for Pepsi commercials.
Man, that's so bad of Pepsi and Terminator 2 to do that. Why would they do that?
I'll leave it with this.
I love Pepsi Zero.
I'll leave it with this. If you guys haven't looked up the Pepsi rebrand Bible, it is a eye-opening rabbit hole to get pulled into.
Oh, yeah.
In the early 2000s, Pepsi went from, can you hold up your can again? Which one do you have? So it went from that logo to like a little sideways logo with like a different little swoop in it. And you're like, well, that couldn't have been that hard to figure out. 75 pages detailing the magnetic spin of the earth and the Pythagorean spiral infused into the color schemes of patriotism into Pepsi. They spent almost $1 billion to just take the logo and go, and turn it a little swoop. It is the most absolute bananas bullshit that this ad company had to come up with to sell that idea, that simple idea, to Pepsi. It is the best 75 pages I've ever went through, because as somebody who has done graphic design, it's like you have to learn a complete bullshit language so that you can like convince these people to spend $1 billion just so you can take their logo and go, eh. And it, in the recent controversy of stupid Cracker Barrel, I bet they spent millions of dollars for somebody to be like, you should probably just get rid of the Cracker in the Barrel. And they were like, oh, great idea. And then everybody got super pissed. And they're like, oh, we spent so much money. So much money.
It'll make them forget how bad our food is.
Yeah, but there's games at the table. There's games at the table, Chase.
I did see the Pepsi video. I think it was, I think you might have shared it about the Pepsi thing. And they said, like, I think the way they said it was like, if this was just some random person, not a advertising company writing this, they'd probably be diagnosed with schizophrenia. Because it's just like the rambling of like the axis of the world and the way the sunlight radiates at a certain degree angle.
It would absolutely come if it was just a normal person. It's that Charlie meme from Always Sunny where he's like, it's got all the red yarn behind him. Like it is that bananas, but it's coming from the ad people, and Pepsi was like stoked about it, and then they went back to the normal thing when they realized nobody cares. Back to normal, baby. All right, guys, let's do some plugs. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Sorry for taking it down there for a second, but we had some laughs, and like I said, hug your family, hug your loved ones, tell your friends you love them, and just live your life to the fullest every day. So, Chase, what's some plugs you got?
Yeah. So of course, see me here every Saturday with you, Aaron, on Half Hour Horror. Follow me on Instagram, Letterboxd, X, and Blue Sky at OheyIt'sChase, TikTok at OheyIt'sChase_. And for those that follow me on social media, a couple months ago, I was asked to be a guest on a new horror podcast called Strange Diamonds. They have a few episodes right now, but we talked about another, speaking of sad horror movies, 28 years later. We got to talk about that, and I had a blast. So yeah, listen to Strange Diamonds. And they said the episode should be dropping very soon, so keep an eye out for that. So yeah,
that's super awesome. Yeah, check that out. We'll obviously share those when that episode drops, put them out there. We had you can follow me on mostly I'm just on Instagram at McLean and Abel, but my other show, The Launchpad Podcast, is on all things at Launchpad Pod. We just did our deep dive into the first 3 episodes of Alien Earth and had a blast about that. That was hysterical. And we will continue talking about that show, as I think probably every 3 episodes we'll do one more episode on that. And then when Chase catches up, we'll have to do our dive into the next few episodes of Alien Earth, because I want to talk about it. Episode 5. I was eating good on that one. I'm out here in Boston making another Walking Dead show. That one's going to be exciting if it doesn't kill me first. We're having some fun getting prepped up. We're about to shoot next week, so I'm excited about that. And guys, all things Block of Horror, we have some exciting stuff coming up October. We are going to start rolling out announcements for that soon. We got to give away some blood coin. What is a I don't. We had so many things. What would be the theme? What could we possibly say for a blood coin keyword today? Chase, help me out here,
Jesus.
please.
You know what? Since we talked kind of early on about Black Phone 2, let's do it in honor of the Black Phone's villain, Grabber.
Grabber. That is good. Grabber. Type in grabber. Go to Discord, open up a ticket, and type in the word grabber.
Speaking of Grabber, played by Ethan Hawke, someone we had on the show a few months ago, Abby Cobb, is going to be on a new FX series with Ethan Hawke.
Yes.
Let's see what that's called.
Peter Dinklage is in it too, randomly enough.
It is called The Lowdown. It's going to be on FX. It premieres September 23rd. So yeah, watch that. Watch good friend of the show, Abby Cobb, get to do doing big things, rubbing elbows with the Ethan Hawke. So yeah, I'm excited to see her and happy to see her. Like, I know there's a lot of hype for this show, so I'm excited for it. So yeah.
Trailers look great. I'm excited about it. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with us this Saturday, guys, and we'll talk to you soon. Take it easy.